Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Thursday, May 9th, 2024. I am Reverend Dr. Darrell Watkins, the senior minister here at Sunshine Cathedral.
I am Reverend Dr. Robert Griffin, the executive minister. Faith and religion can be complicated for the LGBTQ+ community. Surveys show that evangelical faith is the justification for the greatest attacks on the LGBTQ+ community.
I am Reverend Kevin Tisdall, the Minister of Education. The Queer God Squad is going to explore our religious community. Let's explore the big news of the day and what it means to you.
I am Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, the Minister of Connections. This is live, and then we are available on demand. We are available on all smart televisions and your favorite social media.
At Sunshine Cathedral, we're here to tell you that you are God's miracle, not God's mistake.
This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. Queer God Squad, recommendations on how to navigate through religious trauma. An award-winning and popular LGBTQ+ author, Elizabeth Earley, recently shared her experience of navigating through religious trauma with The Advocate. Shout out to The Advocate. We love you. Earley was raised Presbyterian, and her upbringing in a conservative religious setting fostered shame and confusion regarding her identity. She vividly recounts moments of discomfort and alienation within her faith community, including rejection she faced when coming out as gay to her pastor. Eventually, she found solace in the healing power of nature. Now a mother raising her children secularly, Earley seeks to instill in them a sense of acceptance, free from the constraints of traditional religious dogma. Through her profound journey, Earley illuminates the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of self-acceptance and connection with the natural world. To our listeners who are going through similar discomfort and trauma, prioritize self-care and seek support from understanding communities or mental health professionals. Sunshine Cathedral's doors are always open for you. If you are a spiritual person who wishes to find solace in non-traditional ways, nothing comforts you better than Mother Nature. Practice self-compassion and forgiveness, acknowledging that healing is a gradual process. Surround yourself with positive influences and create boundaries with toxic religious environments. Remember that your worth is not defined by religious dogma. But let's navigate LGBTQ+ religious trauma. All God's children got trauma at some point in their lives. It is something that we cannot avoid. What we can avoid is getting caught up in some of the insanity that a lot of religious groups want to share with you. They want to tell you that you're not worthy. They want to tell you that what you're doing is not acceptable. They want to tell you a whole lot of negative things that give them control over you and taking your control away from yourself. You've got to be able to be strong enough to say, wait a minute, what you just said, religious community, makes no sense in my life. And if it makes no sense in your life, let it go. If you need help in doing that, as I said in the lead up to this commentary, then get help from wherever you need to get help. Yes. If it's from another religious source like Sunshine Cathedral, great. If it's from a psychiatrist, then go to that psychiatrist. And that psychiatrist, we joke about it a little bit, but we're serious about it. If you need to take medication to help you get better, don't be afraid to take it. That's right. I know that I have diabetes, for example. I take medication to take care of that diabetes. I would not feel bad if I had a problem that I needed to balance myself out emotionally. It's not a negative thing. Anytime any group tells you that you are not worthy, you're in the wrong group. So in order to reduce the trauma, you've got to eliminate the trauma. Yeah. Walk away from anything that is not positive. Remember the stories. Remember the stories that love God if you are a Christian, if you believe that, and love your neighbor. And if somebody is not loving you, then they're not your neighbor.
And that includes family.
No, you're
That,
right.
oh gosh, that includes family. Absolutely.
Yeah. Part of religious trauma is sometimes that family abandons you, or condemns you, or abuses you, or or harasses you, and so that's actually part of what is so traumatic.
Yeah.
And eventually, some of us have learned that there's family and there are relatives, and under the best of circumstances, they're the same people, but they don't have to be the same people.
Right.
And also, if you experienced any trauma in your formative years, I mean, maybe the house burned down, maybe you had abusive parents, maybe you went from foster home to foster home to foster home, or maybe your church was super mean, or culty, and put really crazy ideas in your head. People who are traumatized in their formative years tend to struggle with depression and or anxiety throughout their lives. And so that's why sometimes we talk about angels, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, the Archangel Uriel. For me, there is the Archangel Lexapro and the Archangel Wellbutrin.
Yeah.
And bless, they changed my life.
Amen.
So tell your doctor what's up and let them help you. And some people, I've known a lot of people who, because of religious trauma, they've dealt with it in lots of ways. Some of them have just left religion to be sort of, I'll still try to be spiritual in some way, but I can't go around religious stuff. Others have become agnostic or atheist because they're like, any God who's signing off on that, no, I'm not for it at all. Or they just find gentler, kinder forms of religion, maybe the Unitarian Universalist Church or the Unity Church or Divine Science or religious, something that's a more inclusive and more expansive and more investigative, rather than just a lot of dogma and reciting preconceived stuff. Some people have changed religions entirely. Maybe they convert to Judaism or Buddhism. So a lot of people have found solace in A Course in Miracles or in Wicca. Some people find places like Sunshine Cathedral where you can do any and all of that, and just with a wide berth. Just try some of this and try some of that. And we're rare, but there are places like us that be like. In fact, we have religious atheists, we have Wiccans, we have Buddhists, we have Muslims and Jews, we have liberal Christians, we have people who are recovering from being conservative Christians, and so we don't ask that people sign the same a belief or whatever. We ask that you come and you explore and you do so lovingly to yourself and to others along the way. And you might be on a row of people that no two people have the exact same idea about anything. And then they just go out for cocktails after church for happy hour and have the best time, which I think is as it should be. So whatever you need to do, though, if you need to convert to another religion, if you need to find a different kind of church, if you need to take a break from church, if you need therapy, if you need a support group, just do it. It's okay. You deserve to be okay. And whatever is going to help you heal from that, because whether they were using God's name or a physical weapon or a threat, they were wrong. Nobody should. You shouldn't have spent any part of your life living in fear, or being told that you weren't good enough, or being told that there was a whole world waiting for you after you died that only existed to torment you forever. Please listen how crazy that sounds. So so if you need to convert, or if you need to become non-religious. And a lot of people, they'll take 20, 30, 40 years away from church and then come back to a place like Sunshine Cathedral. And, when they're ready and they're, okay, I've heard about it. Let me test it. Oh, sure enough, you weren't mean to me. Sure enough, you didn't tell me that I had to believe anything.
Yep.
So just follow your inner guidance but mostly find support wherever that may be. And if you're having physical issues, like, you can't sleep at night, or your appetite has changed, or you're nervous all the time, tell your doctor. And there are actually even therapists who specialize in religious trauma. That's how pervasive it is.
Yeah.
It is a specialty in clinical work now. So reach out, look around, because you deserve to be happy, and you deserve to know that as you are, you're whole.
There was one other thing I wanted to mention about what Earley did. She walked away from religion and found nature, Mother Nature. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that I still love going out into a field and just taking in all of the beauty that exists. So while it may not be considered a religion, It definitely is a vocation, and one that I would endorse fully.
Right, right. I have a story, someone that I know who grew up in a really tough situation. One parent was Roman Catholic, and the other parent was Southern Baptist.
Wow.
And the family that was Roman Catholic told this person, well, you're going to hell because of the Southern Baptists. And then the Southern Baptists came around and said, you're going to hell because of the Roman Catholics. And so this person knew that that sounded just not great. They decided when they were 18, I'm just going to leave the church. I can't do this. If that's true, then God is insane. I want no part of that.
Yeah,
God.
that's an insane God.
Of course.
They went out and joined a Wiccan coven, discovered the joys of paganism, A Course in Miracles, and have recently begun dipping their toe into Sunshine Cathedral and have found real solace here.
Good.
Found the peace and the calm that they need. But still, it startles them sometimes. The communion table brings back issues,
yes.
but just the welcome is really affirming to them. So it can be done, just it takes a long time. Yeah.
When I was in my clinical education, and one of the things that our instructor kept pointing out was that there's a difference between physical trauma and spiritual trauma.
Yeah.
And both can have profound effect on you if left untreated. And so that was one of the things I just kind of often remember that, and as we walk through and encounter people, as Reverend Dr. Anna said, everybody got issues going, everybody got something going on. And so we don't know what that trauma may be, we don't know what may trigger that trauma, but I would just add to just pay attention to your body.
Yeah.
Oftentimes your body is often telling us things. If we just take the time to listen, it is telling us that we need rest. It is telling us that we need to seek therapy. It is telling us that we need to, change medication or get on medication. Just listen to your body. I go back to Louise Hay, who I love, and she would always do this one thing about, until you can stand in front of the mirror and tell yourself that I love yourself, you have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Because being able to look in the mirror and tell yourself that. And when you do that, you can begin to heal some of the trauma that you didn't even know existed in your life. So I'm just going to say to you today to listen to your body and look in the mirror.
Yep.
All right.
Well, that's today with the Queer God Squad. We want to thank you for joining us. We're here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ plus community is talking about.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's largest progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together, and we are all in this together. Remember that.
You are God's miracle, not God's mistake.
Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.